guess we're...
Okay. All right. So the music has gone from us, you know, society, how we should live, to me. It's gone to I. It's gone to individualistic. It's gone. This is how I live. This is how much I have. This is how I roll. This is how many girls that I roll with. So it has really gone vain, and it's just a reflection of our society, pretty much. I feel we could do something about that, because maybe because they look like, you know, who that type of music app, you understand? You know, like, okay, people that have talked about it before, where are they with it?
Okay.
How much have they made with it? But at the end of the day, it's just glorifying money over life, over human life. Money and power as seen as, you know, better priorities than helping people with your music.
Okay. So who would you say is responsible for the flow now? Is it the consumers or the artists themselves? Because if it's all about the glam, now, does that mean glam is the definition of a human experience? Is that definition of success? Because if people think, you know, just wealth alone is the definition, I think, you know, that's quite shocking. And if that's going to be our future, it's scary. So who's doing this? Who's dictating this? Is it the consumers or is it the entertainers that are churning out content? So who's going to be responsible for directing these people, you know, in the right path, music or entertainment?
At the end of the day, it boils down to good or bad. And you know that, you know, those forces over time have always been, you know, in play. You know, the fight for good and bad, you know, right or wrong. Like I said, what the artists sing about is a reflection of what the society is. It's not necessarily the fault of the artist, no. It's just what the situation of the country is. It's the situation of the lives of young people. It's how young people live. That's why many people connect with it. Because guess what? If you sing about that type of stuff, if that's not what people are about, they're not going to feel it. The reason why there's an audience for that is because that's how they live. So it's more about a societal moral decadence, or how do they put it? But it's a flaw in the society. It's a moral flaw from the people, and like I said, it's a spiritual famine. It's the people are losing touch with what life is about. And unfortunately, like I said, the music is getting younger, so young people pretty much don't really know what life is about. You know, there's just so many, just a few things that we let me not use the F word, but we, you know, F with. And unfortunately, it's affecting the whole thing. But I think some artists can put things in check, especially when you have the attention of people. Because what we are really selling and buying is attention.
Yes.
At the end, it's not necessarily what we say, it's attention. Okay, do I have your attention for just 3 minutes? That's what a hit song is about. When you have a hit song, it's all around the country, all around the world, you have the attention of the masses for that minute where everybody's listening to the song. They're tuned to your frequency, and whatever you say in the song, that's what you're saying. You're telling them that, okay, this is what I want you to focus on. That's why people pay for adverts. They place adverts on shows that are interesting, or, you know, artists that have the attention of the people. So I think the change can come in when, yes, you know, you get the attention of a child. You say, okay, Junior, you want this is the toy. If you don't give me that, I won't give you that. So when you distract the child with what the child likes, now that you have the attention of the child, you can now focus on what the child should have, because now you have the attention of the child. So what I'm trying to say is, the people, the artists, you know, the big artists, because we have the attention of people now. Okay, now I have your attention. Okay, now this is what you should focus on. We should slip in some conscious reality check type of music, because it is true. I mean, if you can't just if you go and sing something now, conscious music, there's nobody's going to listen to it because you don't have the attention.
Okay.
You don't. The reason why we listen to Two-Face sometimes is because, you know, it gets your attention with some of those dance songs and some of those, you know, songs. Then he drops in there some conscious music because he knows you have his attention, and whatever he says, you listen to.
Yes.
So that's something that's not been happening with this new generation artists. We're just on a spree of just giving back to back of what young people want to hear, which is party girls and
I noticed you've said, you know, big artists. Where do you belong? What's your category? When you say big artists, where do you belong? How would you best describe your category of artists in Nigeria?
Mega artist.
You're a mega artist, right?
Yeah, but that's just, I'm just playing with the word mega superstar.
You have
but
over 3 million followers on Instagram, so how would you...
By the grace of God.
Because if you have over 3 million, you know the population of Nigeria is close to, is over...
Almost 200 million.
Yes, it's almost 200 million now, and we're expecting it. And if Korede, obviously they're not all Nigerians, but if you have that much, that's a huge population. That's a huge number of our population mixed with other people too. So what category would you place yourself? Would you say you're a big artist or a mega artist? How would you best describe your category too?
I don't think it's my place to describe myself as big or small. I think it's in the hands of the people. To some people, I might be a big artist. To some people, I might not be an artist at all. To some other people, it's a classification of fans and audiences.
Yes.
To some people, like I can mention a really big artist that's trending right now, like a young artist, and if I play it to a certain type of audience, be like, who's that?
Okay.
Does that mean that the artist is not a big artist? Or does that mean the artist is not an artist at all? So I think it's a function of audience. But I'm not in place to determine that. But I have people or fans that I have influence over, or I have their attention. I think that's what really matters. It doesn't matter if you're a big artist, small artist. Do you have a sizable amount of people that you have their attention?
Yes.
Do you know that you can influence their decisions? Do you know that you're responsible for how they react to that message that you're putting out? Do you know that you're going to be answerable, you know, at the end of the day to what did you do with that attention that I gave you? So I think that's what matters most. And by the grace of God, I'm praying that, you know, God gives me the right message to...
You know, with social media now and, you know, with that huge amount of followership, you know, you've told me all this, but what conscious efforts are you putting into your personality, what people see and your kind of content, the kind of content you put out?
Okay, so ultimately, what I think is, ultimately, your life is your message.
Yes.
Ultimately, not necessarily your songs, not necessarily how you dress. It's your personification, your spirit, you know, what type of person are you? You know, I think that at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And that's what people would actually look at, you know, because even in Hollywood, I mean, they rent cars and all that, glamorous buildings and all that. That's not how they live in a regular. And only a few percentage of that actually get to that stage where they can afford to buy that. And sometimes it's lease and all that kind of stuff. But how do you live your life? I think that's the most important thing, and that's the message, that's the example, that's the song, that's the real song. The real song is how you live your life every day.
Okay. What track or what song would you say was your breakout song? That one that really got attention for you?
Oh, that's got to be Godwin, because...
I'm happy you picked that song because I was very careful. Now, what were the components? How did you put that song together? What gave birth to that song?
I think the secret or the formula to that song is it was people-oriented. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't trying to be glamorous. We weren't trying to be, you know, fancy with it. We weren't trying to, it wasn't an I song. That's what I was telling you. It wasn't a, you know, this is how I live type of song. It was us type of song. And some of the experiences that I sang about in that song, I didn't go through.
Okay.
Many of them. You know, I was picturing many people's experiences. Okay, there's a market woman somewhere who's praying God for this. There's a school student somewhere that's praying to pass exam. There's somebody trying to win elections. There, you know, there's somebody that's the landlord has been disturbing. You know, it was a constituent of different people's experiences. And that's why it had a lot of people's attention, because guess what? If all the market women here, all the politicians here, all the students, all the people, everybody lives in a house. And not everybody owns a house. Somebody's going to pay rent some way, somehow. And somebody's going to get a lot. So that's like a maximum attention. So it was a people-oriented song. And yeah, that's got me most attention.
Okay. Now, do you think you would be able to put out any other material that will supersede that record?
By the grace of God, we all keep asking for that. But I've learned over time that it's not really about the material that supersedes or on that seats. It's really about purpose. Every song has influence over a type of people.
Okay.
And if you recognize that, you'd treat every song as special, because there's some people, even if it's just 10 people that's going to listen to that song and be changed, that 10 people can multiply to 10 million people. But you don't see it right now because it has to take time. So, but if you can touch 10 people right now, who's going to touch 10,000, who's going to touch 100,000, who's going to touch 10 million. But the thing is, we want to touch 10 million right now. Boom, pay me my money.
Oh, yes.
This is the numbers, this is the statistics, this is what they're saying. And I think music is more spiritual than physical.
Okay. He's been talking spiritual all the way. I hope you all getting spiritual with him, because he's been talking spiritual.
Spiritual
Okay.
us.
We have more to come, but this is the end of the first half. And I assure you there's lots of more conversations and revelations with the man, Korede Bello, who won with the single God. We'll be back.
Good.